With our ball rig created, let's go into the animation workspace. And what we're going to do is we're going to exit out pose mode, object, shift A, mesh, plane, S, scale it out. And we're going to select this guy, GZ, make it, let's say, flush to the floor. GZ, it's pretty good. Looks pretty good. And then let's move the camera a bit. Click 0 on the numpad, RZ. Oh, right. Change this guy to 3D cursor, RZ. So now we'll actually rotate around that. RX. Let's do G, RZ. Why this feels off. Okay. Let's do G, Z, Z. Zoom out a little bit. G. Oh, RY. There we go. G. G. So I think that's pretty good. So let's start animating this ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into pose mode for this. And over here, I'm going to turn this to the graph editor. Turn on auto key. Okay, we have our graph editor, we have our ball. So let's actually start moving this. Now, notice I have, if I click end, I have the transformation. And I'm going to start at frame 0. So GX, move this down here. And notice how the Y is the one that's actually moving. The reason why it's slightly off, the X, Y, and Z, is because of the bone orientation that we have right here for the base one. So we have that there. And let's say on frame 20, GX, we're going to move it down like so. And then frame 10, GZ, we have it go up. So notice how the Z is actually the X for this. So we're going to go here. Okay, so we click play. And it looks slightly off, right? So what do we need to do? Well, first off, the Y should just be constant. So we're going to expand this. And we want to hide everything except for the X, Y, Z. Z, we don't actually do anything to that one. And just for the time being, I'm just going to select Y. So here is the Y. I'm going to do T, and I'm going to do linear. So if I hit play, you see how that's a bit more smoother in the Y direction? So that one's done. Now I'm going to click on X, go here, and then we have these curves. So when you do a ball bounce, it doesn't slow down before it hits. It actually speeds up. So I'm going to click on the little endpoint here, G, and I make it straight flat like this. Click on this guy, G, flat. So let me just expand this guy a little bit so you can kind of see it better. So before, the reason why I was looking off is it was curving, right? So it was slowing down before it hit the ground. But that's not what happens. The fastest point of the ball is right when it hits the ground. So you just need to modify that. And then here, we're just going to click this, do S to kind of make it a bit smoother. So if I hit play, you see how that looks better? Like it just kind of hovers and then it just plops. So that looks pretty good. Now, what we can do is we have all these keyframes selected. I can do, make sure you have the blue line down here. I'm going to do S.5, select it. Oh, sorry. Do A, select everything. Make sure you have all this selected as well. I'm going to click A for all these. I'm going to do S 0.5. There we go. So it scales it down. So we can see it's much faster. I'm going to say this is now 2. Okay, let's just do G, select this guy, go back on frame 15, do GZ, go back here. Okay. this guy again by 2. This is gy. Oop, actually, we just want this to be 0 right there. Oops. This guy 0 g. It's good. Go here. 25 gz. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to do this +2. Oh, sorry, -2. G select here. GZ, just a little tiny one. And then let's say for the just tiny one. Let's say just for the rest bounce. Let's do this. Let's do -4 here. GZ, just a smidge. Back here. Okay, this one needs to be, let's say, -6. Here, -8. Okay. Let's do G there. And then I'm just going to have this guy start falling. So let's do X delete. Let's go here, G. Okay, so let's play this. Yep, it's a little off. So G. There we go. That looks pretty good. So frame 83 is when it's done. Okay, zoom in, so play. So we just have a basic ball bouncing. We don't have any roll yet. So let's just modify some of this. So y is linear. This is the curve one. Let's go into the x one. Let's hide everything except for the x. So here's the x. You can see the curve's really, really off. G. Easy way might be just scaling this to like absolute nothing. Here, S. So it's nice and plump. Looks fine. R, rotate this guy out. Rotate. S. Okay, so if I go back here. So you see, so I just by doing the graph editor. So I finished doing the keyframes here. All I'm doing right now is I'm just modifying the graph editor, and you can already see it's looking like an actual ball bouncing. And then it falls off. Cool. So let's go here. Okay. And I'm going to select this bone now. I'm going to do R. Let's just zoom in at this a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the rotation right. So it's here. Let's do RY. And oh, wait a second. I want to be individual origins to rotate. Let's do R now. Okay. That looks pretty good. Rotation, let's do the XYZ ruler. Oops. Let's see, Alt R. Here, R, Y, there. Seems like it's slipping a bit. Let's do R. So what I'm doing is I'm matching the rotation with the movement. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Here, rotate a bit more. Here. There. And then I'm going to do A, T, and linear. Play. Rotate. Just play around with this to get the rotation right. Hey. Rotate. Sit play. Let's go into camera view. And now it's rotating. But you see how that's just adding something? Let's go here. Rotate. Here. Rotate. There. Rotate. 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 And rotate. So if you play, and that looks really good. So I'm going to do N, move this right here, deselect that,